you know, nothing too serious. And then the machine just started to break up.
And then all hell broke loose. The giant 747 careened at high speed across the last obstacle before the runway, a ridgeline called Nimitz Hill, breaking into 4 pieces, killing many passengers instantly, but somehow sparing others. Mr. Rhee was still strapped to his seat, but in the smoke and panic could not see the rest of his family.
At impact, I lost my consciousness first, and once I regained consciousness, I saw sky and headed out towards the sky, and once I got out, there was a lot of flames, so I tried to get away from the flames and ran about 40 feet.
No, I don't think there's any way you can prepare for something like this.
U.S. Navy emergency medical technician Bradley Muller got the first call, a catastrophe on this tiny island, a little piece of America out in the Pacific, 4,000 miles west of Hawaii. When Muller reached the crash site, he was horrified.
I think I'm still numb from the whole experience.
The moment he arrived, Muller could see that there was nothing he could do for most of the passengers. They had either died on impact or had burned to death in the fireball that engulfed most of the airliner. But then, faint screams, which he followed as he hacked his way through 7-foot-high sawgrass and realized there were survivors.
It amazes me. All I can say is people are extremely strong-willed, and I don't know how some of them survived. It's either by God or by luck.
There was a baby crying, children crying, asking for help, a lot of screaming, a lot of chaos.
Guam Governor Carl Gutierrez lives 2 miles away, and when he heard there was a crash, rushed to the scene. In the midst of the chaos, he found an 11-year-old girl, Rika Matsuda, trying to help a badly injured flight attendant.
You're such a brave little girl, and the first thing you thought about was trying to help a flight attendant.
I heard a scream from one of the stewardesses, and I found her. I asked how she was doing, but after a while, all the stewardess was able to say was, "Help me," and then she passed out.
The flight attendant survived, but Rika's own mother died in the crash. Trapped in her seat with flames approaching, her last words to her daughter had been, "Save yourself."
I already told the Admiral.
In the front of the plane, another mother and daughter were trapped, but rescuers managed to open an escape route. Jean Shim handed her daughter out of an opening in the fuselage to a Navy commander who thought it was too late.
We thought at first that maybe she didn't make it, but then when she handed her to me, she started screaming and crying, so we knew she was alive.
As 6-year-old Angela Shim was carried up the hill, she cried out for her mother, not knowing that her mom had been rescued too and was in the stretcher behind her. Alongside of them was Navy medic Brad Muller, elated to help save a life after seeing so many who didn't make it.
When you're so occupied with trying to help survivors, do you even notice the deck?
You see them, but nothing registers. You're pumped so full of adrenaline. You don't think. You react to everything. I mean, everything you learned in training, any kind of training you've had just kicks in, and your body takes over, and you do what needs to be done.
That same sense of purpose was evident below Nimitz Hill at Guam's 2 main hospitals. The emergency rooms were chaos. This ward was filled with badly injured passengers. A call had been put out to all doctors on the island, and what they encountered was a scene beyond their wildest imagination. At Guam Memorial Hospital, critical care teams fought to save badly burned patients. And at the U.S. Navy Hospital, it was ER times 10. Dr. Jeff Goras was part of the team of Navy doctors tending to the survivors.
At a spot where we saw the people that made it, and we weren't on the hillside carrying the bodies. We were at the bedside with people that had lived, and we just have to realize that for every person that we saw that made it, there were 10 that didn't.
National Transportation Safety Board investigators spent the weekend looking for answers. Today, the NTSB reported that another important safety system for the Guam airport, designed to alert the control tower if a plane is too low, apparently had an error in its computer software and failed to give a warning that Flight 801 was in danger.
It could have made a difference.
The horror of Flight 801 touched thousands of people around the world, but a Los Angeles area family suffered an incalculably heavy loss. 11 of them were on the plane.
Why happened to my daughter and my sister's husband? What is next?
Kelly Kong is a former Korean Air flight attendant. Her 8-year-old daughter, Tiffany, died in the crash. Along with aunts, uncles, and cousins, they too were flying to Guam on vacation.
And as soon as we hear information, we'll let you know.
This crash was a nightmare relived. Incredibly, Kelly Kong's brother-in-law was killed in another Korean air crash in 1983. KAL Flight 007 was shot down by the Soviets after wandering into their airspace. Kelly Kong arrived in Guam Thursday night.
I want to see my daughter alive. I want to take her home. I want to take her home, my home.
Kelly Kong's heartbreak was shared across Guam this weekend. There were many other families shattered. Husbands without wives, sisters without brothers, fathers without sons.
We'll be right back. This is Dateline Sunday for August 10th, with reports tonight from Dawn Fratangelo, Len Cannon, Mike Betcher, and Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Bob Arnott. Coming up next, it could influence everything from what you wear to what you do. But just how powerful is peer pressure?
The pressure got to me, and I caved in.
How far could the pressure push you?
Wish you were as soft and smooth as your friends? You need a whole new way to shave. New Skintimate Smooth Shave. A unique exfoliating formula that actually lifts away dry skin while you shave. You've never been smooth like this. New Skintimate Smooth Shave. One more way to love your legs.
Dust bunnies. They settle on floors, tables, blinds, lots of places waxy furniture polish shouldn't go. But Endust, like a magnet, gathers them up from floors, tables, blinds, wherever they hide. No wax Endust, the dust magnet.
The all-new Intrigue, a sophisticated twist on a sports sedan.
Does that camera of yours give you 3 different picture options for better pictures more often? Oh, too bad. What you need is an advanced photo system like Kodak Advantix. It's a special kind of film. It's a different kind of camera. It's a better way to take pictures. Further.
From the dawn's first light till the evening sun sets, Red Lobster brings back tempting shrimp at its best. Enjoy Shrimp Rockefeller, perhaps scampi with wine. With our juiciest steak, it's just $10.99. A freshly made sauce over sizzling steak, plus your favorite shrimp. It's your choice to make. Steak and shrimp just $10.99 for a short time at Red Lobster. Prepared so fresh, you can taste it.
The working definition of the first day at the office.
Dental plan, pension plan, and company calendar of paid holidays with special applications for Martin Luther King Day and Yom Kippur. It's one or the other. Welcome to the Upton Weber family, whose first belief is that trust makes for good business. I'll need a urine sample.
Fred Savage in a new comedy, Working, Wednesdays this fall on NBC.
From Studio 3B in New York, here is Jane Pauley.
Did your mother ever ask if you'd jump off a bridge because all the other kids were doing it? It's one of those phrases parents pass down generation after generation. But tonight's story about the power of peer pressure makes that, sadly, not just a rhetorical question. Can peer pressure drive someone to murder? Just how far will people go to please the crowd? As you'll see tonight, much farther than you'd ever think. Here's Dawn Fratangelo.
When it's least expected, you're elected, you're the star today. Smile, you're on candid camera.
This man finds himself in a strange predicament. So does this man. He's in an elevator facing front, but inexplicably, everyone else is facing the back. It's the dilemma presented by TV's Candid Camera 35 years ago. pitting individuality against the pull of group pressure.
He's very unhappy. You'll see him. He doesn't know whether to go inside and face front or outside and face back. Here's a fella with his hat on.
Over and over, the unsuspecting TV stars all reacted the same way, like sheep.
A moment later, we'll open the door. Everybody's changed positions.
Although it was just for laughs, Candid Camera also raised serious questions about conformity for all of us. Would you be strong enough to stand up for yourself if you're a minority of one? What is conformity?
Conformity is when we give in to the group.
Social psychologist Dr. Anthony Pretcanis has studied conformity for 2 decades.
On some occasions, on many occasions, it can be very, very difficult and very, very negative. So, for instance, when the group is wrong and you're right, conformity is bad.
How powerful is the pull of negative group pressure? We wanted to know. So Dateline enlisted Professor Pretcanis and his psychology students at the University of California's Santa Cruz to replicate Dr. Solomon Ash's classic 1950s conformity study. They did what Ash did. Design a simple exercise matching the line on the left with the one of identical length on the right, and then have the students who were plants give intentionally wrong answers, claiming, for example, line 1 on this card is the right match.
1. 1. 1. 1.
1. The subjects, always in seat 6, are then faced with the experiment's fundamental question: conform by giving answers they know to be absurdly wrong, or defy the group and give answers they know to be correct.
Go ahead.
And there was one more part of the experiment, designed to draw the subjects in and make the exercise more convincing.
2.
Initially, the plants actually give the correct answers.
2. 2. 2.
2.
At least the first few times.
We have consensus.
But as the rounds continue and the plants do give those wrong answers, try playing along. Watch these subjects who were told they were part of a visual...
So you might as well have fun doing it.
Matt Williams told me last night that the most fun he had was not the home run, not even the great defense, but rather this, his great classic hook slide around Charles Johnson in the first inning. That, he said, was good old-fashioned baseball fun.
Williams scored 3 times last night to help the Indians even the series at 2 games apiece, and this series starting last Saturday night with rookie Levon Hernandez upstaging postseason warrior Oral Hershiser.
Well, licensed NFL merchandise at Goodyear. Right now, get some of Goodyear's best selected tires like Aquatrans, Eagles, and Wranglers. And get $50 or $75 good towards officially licensed NFL merchandise at participating Goodyear retailers. Call 1-800-GOODYEAR for the retailer nearest you. Great Goodyear treads, incredible NFL threads. Oh, nice fashion statement, fella.
The AT&T One Rate plan has made long-distance prices simple. Whoa. Calls from home, a one low rate to anybody in America anytime.
What about those 10-3-2-1 ads that say I could save big over AT&T?
Most calls would cost less with AT&T One Rate.
Cost less?
Right.
Oh, I feel so used.
Hey, don't beat yourself up.
What about the big savings with 10-3-2-1?
Forget it if your calls aren't over 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
He's taking it really bad.
No restrictions, no games. The AT&T One Rate plan. Friday, players return.
You guys are cops? He's taking a little bite out of crime.
The con is on. As players take a bite out of the City of Angels.
I hate LA.
Players, NBC Friday.
Welcome back to balmy 43-degree Cleveland, Ohio. First pitch of Game 5 is a little less than 10 minutes away. It's been a wild last 2 games. While the temperatures have been cool, the bats have been hot. 38 runs scored in the last 2 games. So much for the pitcher's supposed advantage in the cool weather.
Indeed. And now it's the Marlin hitters who better be ready for a fired-up Oral Hershiser coming off his Game 1 beating. A man who has faced Hershiser 52 times is the red shortstop Barry Larkin. He went into our batter's test tube to warn the Marlins what to expect.
You ever competed with a guy in, I don't care what sport, basketball, tennis, golf, chess, checkers, and he keeps coming at you again and again and again, no matter how many times he loses, till finally he wins a game? Well, that guy's pitched tonight for the Indians. Hershiser got beat up pretty bad in Florida, so he's highly motivated to win this game tonight. You won't see many changes in Hershiser because he truly believes upstairs that he's got better location than those hitters have bat control. So you won't see changes. You'll see that sinker ball in, you'll see that fastball up and in to keep you honest, then you'll see him go away with the slider and keep his changeup down in the zone. And if he ever did decide to load one up, it'd be an icicle by the time it gets back here. Hey, the Bulldog's gonna have to play like a St. Bernard tonight to win.
2 things for the record. Mr. Costas' penguin provided by SeaWorld, and also Larkin 15 for 47 with no homers or RBI against Oral. For more Inside Baseball, log on with Larkin at MLBWorldSeries.com. And about Oral and the spitter, he denies it completely, says that's the sinker he learned in '83, without which he'd be working in a flour mill.
Time now for our national anthem. Let's send it to Cleveland Indians public address announcer Mark Trumba.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remove your caps and remain standing for the presentation of colors by the United States Marines, the United States Navy, and the United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America in the performance of our national anthem, please welcome Grammy Award-winning artist Bruce Hornsby and Branford Marsalis.
Trilogy returns next Saturday. The Pretender, a genius, a hero. Can he...
Game 5 almost upon us, and
waiting for pitches that they could handle. Usually you equate this with one player, but the whole team was like this, and Matt Williams waits in the 8th inning and hits the ball out of the ballpark. As long as they're patient, you will get a good pitch to hit. We'll see if they're patient tonight with Livan Hernandez.
What about that pitching pairing? Again, rookie and veteran.
Well, it's a rematch of Game 1, Bob. Oral Hershiser, the veteran, against the rookie. And Oral Hershiser in Game 1 had all kinds of problems with location. Moises Alou hit a 3-run homer on a high fastball. Then Charles Johnson hit a tape measure job on another pitch around the belt. Livan Hernandez, although he didn't have a good curveball in that first outing, threw fastballs around the outside corner, every once in a while a breaking ball, and the strike zone was rather liberal. It's going to be interesting tonight to see if home plate Randy Marsh, the umpire at home plate Randy Marsh, is that lenient with those outside pitches.
As always, just before the first pitch, we go down to the field for a report from Jim Gray. So here he is.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Well, I spoke to Charles Johnson, and he told me that he wants to speed up the pace tonight of Livan Hernandez. He wants him to pitch much faster than usual. He says Hernandez likes to have a slow-paced, deliberate game, but he wants his pace much quicker tonight for a couple of reasons. A, he doesn't want him standing out there on the mound thinking about the situation too much, and B, he doesn't want his arm to stiffen up in the cold because Hernandez is from Cuba, and he's very used to playing in the warm weather. Now, Johnson went on to say that he feels that he's going to need all of his pitches tonight, that he's going to need his good curveball, unlike what he had in Game 1. He says he's going to have a good grip on the ball and keep his hand warm. Now, I spoke to Hernandez, and he told me that really he doesn't like the cold. He's upset about the cold. However, he pitched very well in Portland, Maine with the cold when he had the opportunity. He said, you know, regardless of the situation here tonight and all the pressure, after everything that I've been through, really nothing is going to bother me. Bob?
Jim, thanks very much. We begin by taking a look at the Florida lineup. Devon White is still at the top. Joe Morgan wouldn't fill out a lineup card this way if he were managing the Marlins, and we'll talk to him about it in this first inning. Conine is in there, and here's part of the reason. 6 for 13 in his career, including a home run against Oral Hershiser. So Eisenreich, who had been DHing, is out. Dalton, who had been playing first base, moves to the DH spot.
And let's take a look at Oral Hershiser. Hershiser has a good sinking fastball, throws a curveball and a changeup. He's a very smart pitcher, and if he's throwing well, he will get a lot of ground balls. Don't expect him to make the same mistakes he made in Florida. And the defense behind him features some Gold Glovers. Matt Williams at third base and Omar Vizquel at shortstop. Two excellent glove men, but this is a very good defensive team that the Indians put on the field.
And Marquise Grissom in center field has won Gold Gloves in the past in the National League. The leadoff man for Florida is Devon White. He struck out 4 times last night, and he's batting 167 in this World Series. Now, if you were managing the Marlins, he would not be playing tonight, true?
Well, I would give him a day off, try to regroup, because he has not scored a run. He's your leadoff hitter, and your team has scored a lot of runs. He has not scored one. And that's not a knock at Devon. It's just that at this point, maybe you give him a day off to relax. He'll have another day tomorrow, and maybe he'll bounce back for you in game 6 and 7 and have some big games. And look at the mark he is set now. It's consecutive at bats, 5 strikeouts. And you have to also remember that Jim Eisenreich, in my opinion, hit the biggest home run in this series so far in game 3 here. So Eisenreich's now on the bench.
There's Jim, available as a pinch hitter. White at 167, as I mentioned, in this World Series. Hasn't scored a run, hasn't driven one in, hasn't drawn a walk, has struck out 7 times. All 1 from Hershiser. Randy Marsh has the plate. Ken Kaiser is at first. Ed Montague is at second. Dale Ford at third. Left field line, Joe West. Right field line, Greg Kosk.
Well, and Oral Hershiser 2-0 now on Devon White. That first pitch, Bob, a high fastball that he got away with, then dropped a sinker down low.
2-0 pitch, hit sharply, but it's not going to get him anything as Bip Roberts throws him out. And Joe Morgan shakes his head because the count was 2-0, and I know what you're thinking, Joe.
Well, I think a lot of times you can get yourself out of a slump if you're more patient at the plate, if you see a few more pitches. And Oral Hershiser is a guy that will give you a pitch to hit, so you have to be patient with him.
So White sits down, and up comes Edgar Renteria. 313 in the series after hitting 277 for the regular year. Ball 1. Renteria, like his counterpart in this series, Omar Vizquel, might very well have won a Gold Glove, but he was edged for it by the Mets' young standout Ray Ordonez. 3-0.
Al Hershiser again, 3 fastballs now on Renteria, 2 off the outside and a little bit low, and then pushed him back with a high inside fastball.
Well, he's only thrown 1 pitch in the strike zone so far, and he got it out on that. So Renteria does a good job here. It's 3-0. He automatically is going to take 1.
Full count. Hershiser was 14-6 for the regular season. He's 0-1 in this postseason. His ERA approaching 5. He's had 4 starts, 3 no decisions in the playoffs, and a loss in the World Series opener. And Renteria taps it slowly. Williams comes on, bare hands and throws. Not in time.
Well, that's why Matt Williams wins Gold Gloves. A slower runner, he would have made that play. I mean, he made a spectacular play as it is. He barehanded it and he threw off balance, but Renteria got out of the box very well, and he beat it out. And watch this. He's coming full bore. Just barehand the ball, take 1 step and throw. You can't make the play any better than that, and a very close play at first base. Look at that, one step and a throw. You don't get rid of the ball any quicker than that. But good hustle there by Renteria.
I'm going to say, Joey, he had himself in position, too. He had turned his body sideways to make the pickup and then the throw in the same motion, and Renteria just beat it. And again, Renteria trying to pull a little sinker off the outside corner, and that's what Hershiser tries to get you to do, that low outside sinker. If you pull it, you're going to be dead against this guy.
A ball to Sheffield.
Here again is that play by Williams. See him get himself in position to make the throw, and the throw just a bit late for Renteria. Solid play by Williams.
Sheffield hitting .333 in the series with a homer. He's also walked 5 times. Strike one. Look at that on-base percentage through the postseason, as everyone is very careful with him. But when he gets you in a position with men on base where you have no choice but to throw a strike, he will punish you. Hit sharply through the middle. Base hit for Sheffield. Renteria around second as Grissom fields it, and he'll hold there.
As I said earlier, if you're patient, you will always get a pitch to hit. It doesn't matter who the pitcher is, you will get a pitch to hit. He threw him a good breaking ball to get strike one. Now watch where this breaking ball is. This one is up, so you're a little more patient. See, and he hits this ball right back through the middle. So anytime as a hitter, you're patient, you wait long enough, they'll give you a pitch to hit.
Jim Leland said the one thing about this Miami club, and against a guy like Hershiser, got the good sinker and the slider, they don't try to do too much with him. Do with him what he's going to give you. That pitch away, and Sheffield hit it to center.
Bonilla on the first pitch, a double play ball. There's one, and there's two. 2 hits, but no runs. And now the Indians come up in the first.
Who's the big man that slams the world with just one hand? You're damn
acting is being.
Can't quite put my finger on it. Something just ain't right.
Shot puts up the shot, and it's...
That's what I've been missing.
Don't even think about it. Pepsi. Generation Next.
Please?
Nah.
This dish is gonna change my life.
I like you better already. Turn it on, turn it on.
And now, I give you...
Game time.
Heidi?
They said it was on satellite TV.
It's on DirecTV. DirecTV?
You don't have DirecTV.
You got Heidi.
Only DirecTV delivers more sports than any other mini-dish system. If you don't have it, you're gonna get it.
If you squint, you kind of looks like Don Elway.
DirecTV. Satellite TV at its best.
If I ran the post office, I'd give busy people like me a break.
Fine.
Get around lines. Give them a way to grab things themselves. And please, let's take credit cards. We'd stay open later. And I'd put little post offices all over, like in stores. Oh, don't forget self-adhesive stamps.
Angel stamps. Again?
And then we'd go on the internet.
It's happening at your U.S. Postal Service. We deliver.
Thanks for the truck, Dad. What'd you do? Not much. Where'd you go? Kurtz? You still talking about moving that old barn? No.
The best long-term quality of any full-size pickup belongs to Chevy.
Had a scratch? No.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.